back to Drive-In Dishes. I'm Sally Elias Kezi, your host, and today we're going to do something different with the chicken. So in another episode we talked about doing chicken stock or chicken soup. Today we're going to do a roast chicken. One of my favorite ways of preparing chicken is roasting it, and so much so that I got something called a Romertopf pan, which you might think about getting. So a Romertopf is a ceramic pot, okay, special for roasting a chicken, and what it does is it's the clay. It circulates the moisture on the flavoring better through the chicken as it's roasting, as opposed to just using your stainless steel roasting pan. So I loved roasting chicken so much, and I love the effects of the Romertopf so much that I got one of these. This is just perfect for the size of a chicken. Now, there's a few different things that you need to know about roasting chicken in a Romertopf. So we're going to talk about two different ways of roasting chicken. If you use a Romertopf or a clay pot, the important thing is that the clay pot has to be well seasoned, basically, but every time you use the pot, it has to be dunked in water, or basically allowed to soak up moisture in a sink full of water. Why? Because it is clay. We don't want to put it dry into a hot oven. It could crack, basically. So I've soaked it already. I've soaked both the lid and the base in the water. And then the other thing you need to know about cooking with a Romertopf is that you're going to put the whole thing into a cold oven. Okay? So we're going to bake at 450, but we're going to put it into the oven with the oven off, and then we're going to turn the oven on. So no preheating the Romertopf. All right, so let's suppose that you're using a stainless steel roasting pan, also with a lid. You do need to preheat. So you're going to preheat to 450, and you don't need to soak. So you would put the whole chicken in the pan without soaking and with the oven preheated. All right, there are so many ways and so many things you can roast a chicken with, but this is my favorite way of doing it. So I've taken the chicken and I've rinsed it and I patted it dry, and we want it breast side up. I'll tell you a funny story, just so you know, I'm sharing this with you because I am not the perfect cook or the perfect chef or the smartest cook by any means. When I first learned how to roast chicken, it used to drive me crazy to figure out which side is breast side up. I know, sounds very simple to most people, but I could not figure out which side is breast side up. I would flip that chicken around, turn the chicken this way and that way to figure out which side is breast side up. Great way of figuring it out. Look for the wings. The wings need to be going like this, and that's the breast side up, okay? So I made you laugh a little bit at myself. That's fine. All right. Then the other things I'm going to use for roasting my chicken, chopped onion. It's in a dice here, but you can do it coarsely chopped medium onion. I took a couple of cloves, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, and I've got one of my favorite things, Hungarian paprika, okay? And then we talk about herbs. I love parsley. You may not know this, parsley is full of vitamin A. I don't know if you realize that about parsley. It seems like just a simple herb to you. Hey, it's another weed, but it's not. It's actually full of vitamin A and vitamin K. So those herbs that hopefully are growing out on your little balcony or in your backyard like we do, full of vitamins. Rosemary, my #1 favorite herb. The smell on rosemary is beautiful. Do not ever, ever, ever buy dried rosemary. That's like a sin to me. Okay, we're gonna need a little bit of olive oil. Or you could use butter, melted butter, but I like olive oil. And then of course your salt and your pepper. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. First thing we're gonna do is we're going to fill the cavity with our herbs, okay? So, you could de-stem this parsley. It's about about half a cup of parsley there and a twig of rosemary. You could de-stem it if you want to. I just shoved the whole thing inside. But first let's prepare our garlic cloves here. And this is my quick way of peeling garlic cloves. Please don't hurt yourself if you're going to do it that way. Just use the back of the knife like this and the palm of your hand and press down, and that way you've got a quick and easy peel. These are small garlic cloves, so they're a little bit more challenging. And so for next time, this is something I would do before we start videotaping. But here we go. We've got our garlic cloves, and we are going to slice. Thin slice is always better. Okay, so I learned from reading a couple of books by true chefs that you are basically committing another sin by mincing garlic in the mincer. So we are going to slice these garlic cloves thinly. Okay, we've got about 3 or 4 good garlic cloves there. Actually, we're going to do a coarse chop on these cloves. We don't need to make a big production out of this. All right, let's have our little chicken. And, oh, that is not the head of the chicken, is it? No. This is the head of the chicken because that's where our wings are. So we want the back side of the chicken. Please make sure you took the giblets out because we really don't want to cook with the giblets in there. All right, we're going to stuff our garlic cloves in there. We're going to put our parsley in there. And we're going to put our twig of rosemary in there. If it makes you happy, you can take it off the stem. And then we're going to dump our onions in there. Okay? And stuff it into that cavity. All right, take a little bit more, those onions, and we'll stuff. Now, this chicken comes conveniently with a little tail. So we're going to cover up that cavity with a little tail so nothing comes out. We're going to put it breast side up. There's my wings. And we're going to brush it with some olive oil. Now, ideally, we're going to be washing our hands all the time because we don't want to spread infection with this raw, uncooked chicken. So I'm going to brush my chicken with the olive oil all over the place. We're going to turn it upside down and brush it some more. And then to be a good cook, I'm going to take a break, wash my hands, and do the rest of the chicken. I'll be right back with Drive-In Dishes. Welcome back to Drive-In Dishes, where we are going to finish roasting our chicken. Okay, so I washed my hands because we brushed the whole thing with oil and I was touching the chicken. So you want to wash your hands. We're going to cover this thing with salt and pepper. Okay, here's my handy dandy electric mill for my salt and pepper. I'm very fond of these things. Lots of salt and pepper. We could do both at the same time. Okay, then we're going to cover the whole thing in paprika. Paprika, my favorite Hungarian paprika. Don't use any other kind except for Hungarian paprika. We're going to smother this thing with Hungarian paprika. By the way, did you know that paprika needs to be put in the refrigerator for storage? Please, please, please do not store it in your spice cabinet or you're going to get little boll weevils. All right, we're going to cover the chicken with paprika. We're going to put the lid on, and we're going to put it into our cold oven. Remember, with a Romertopf, if you choose to buy a clay pot, clay roasting pan, cold oven for the chicken. So 450 degrees for this. We turn it on now. And then, because we're putting it into a cold oven, we need a little bit longer than you normally would for a stainless steel roasting pan. So this is going to take an hour and a half, 90 minutes. If you're just putting it into a stainless steel roasting pan, an hour is sufficient. At the last 10 minutes, whether you're using the Romertopf or you're using a stainless steel roasting pan, you're going to take the lid off and let it get nice and brown on top of that chicken. And that'll be it. We'll show you what it looks like when we come back to Drive-In Dishes. Hi, welcome back to Drive-In Dishes. We're going to finish up our roast chicken. So we have let it roast for 90 minutes, and then in the last 10 minutes I took the lid off the Romertopf, and now I'm going to take it out of the oven and show you what this beautiful roast chicken looks like. So I want to show you when it comes out of the oven. Oh my gosh, I can't even describe to you how beautiful it smells. It is not black on top. The chicken has not blackened. That's the paprika that has darkened up a little bit. But look at that. Look, oh, I cannot even explain to you what it smells like. I can smell the rosemary, I can smell the onions, I can smell the parsley. It smells beautiful. And that soup it's soaking in, the broth that it's soaking in, you can take that out and save it later and use it for chicken stock. Okay, I hope you enjoy your roast chicken, and we'll be back. Drive-in dishes. بالهنا بالشفا.